Okay, welcome back to the Investigative Journal on this July 8th, 2015 day on our calendar. I'm your host, Greg Anthony. You're listening to FirstAmendmentRadio.com. And I don't know why I decided to embark on this journey. It's a huge task. I've been preparing for it for a long time without telling anyone. Oh, I've spoken to my dogs about it, and they are willing to take a trip with me. And I've got it all planned right now. In about an hour, just after this show's over, the internet will go off. I'll be out of range. And I've decided to dead reckon my way to the Sandwich Islands, heading a bit northwest. Been to Hawaii before dead reckoning when I was a kid. And I learned how to navigate years ago on the Michigan shores of Chicago, traveling all over the Great Lakes. And since then, I've been harbored on the Pacific coast, doing a radio show, talking about truth. Truth that eludes most of us and probably all of us for our entire lives. Oh, we can figure out things that 9/11 was a inside job. President Kennedy, oh, he knew about some things, didn't he? Well, yes, he did. And right now, let me tell you how I'm doing this. I'm pulling out of a harbor, and I'm not going to tell you the craft I'm on. It's too dangerous at this point. You know, they like to stop any kind of exploration in this country. And they probably think I won't make it halfway to my first stop. And it's easy to get lost once you lose sight of land, isn't it? And then you got that big ocean just staring you in the face. And it looks rather flat to me. And one of the things that I've decided to do was to prove it for myself. I got so tired of how many times have we listened, when you're an investigator, when you're a journalist, when you're just a human being trying to get through the deception that we hear and we listen to on the internet. And that's where we really live today. We live in cyberspace. Our friends are in cyberspace. Our contacts are in cyberspace. We listen to people we don't even know who they are. But the worst tragedy is that when you walk and you step out into the real world, when you walk into City Hall, when you walk out of your door, you're walking into a fantasy world. You might as well be walking into Disneyland. And my feeling is you can get more truth there than you can at any State House building, any Washington, D.C. building ever erected by man. Oh, we've been deceived, all right. And to let you know how I'm doing this, I've got a backup GPS, but I'm not using it now. I learned to dead reckon a long time ago. I know my way around the first 200 or 300 miles once you leave the coast. I have a compass. I made sure that it was calibrated. And during this time of year, the weather's pretty nice. And unless you hit a nice little hurricane storm or some kind of rogue wave, you'll probably make it if your boat holds up. If things go right. If not, you'll die with your thoughts. You'll die with your idea of truth. And I've said this a long, long, long time ago. The only thing that matters, and what truth really is what you believe, what you trust, and what you think when you put your head on the pillow. And when you put your head on that little pillow at night, what head are you putting there? Is it your own thoughts, your own thinking patterns, or is it somebody else's? Are you listening to the experts at NASA? Are you listening to all the people in your life that have told you everything about your religions, told you everything about your country, told you everything. And is that really what you are? When you put that head on the pillow, how many heads is it? Is it 150 different experts? So I decided to take this journey and to prove it for myself, because I said a long time ago, when I started on this idea that the ultimate deception was the fact that they are hiding, and when I say they, I can tell you the Vatican-led New World Order, like I've told you. And now I'm moving out of the San Diego harbor. Right now I can still see land, and it's still pretty safe. Birds are chirping a bit. Oh, I can see a couple dolphins following. And if you need company, all you got to do is throw a few, I brought a lot of sardines to catch some fish with to eat if I run out. Oh, I've got enough here to eat. I was a little overweight anyway, living on land. I'm going to miss a few things. I've got, what I did is I made a tape recording of my favorite baseball games that I can play on a DVD. And I got power here. I got a generator. And when I get lonely, I'll put on the baseball games. But the real search is to prove to myself. I don't care about you. You're not going to believe me anyway. And if I die halfway to the Sandwich Islands and into Hawaii, guess what'll happen? No one will care. They'll just say he was a bit crazy. Decided he couldn't take it on land anymore and just head out because he thought the world was just a circle. He thought he was lied about in every aspect of his life, from the time he was a little boy, told that the vicar of Christ was that pope with that funny hat on, until the final deception. And that's when he learned, by using several common sense thoughts, after a whole bunch of people decided that the earth wasn't a sphere anymore. And that flies in the face of even the religious people that get up and spout the Bible. They'll say it's a globe because they're not going to get their 501c3 money. They don't care about the truth. And I remember he said, oh yeah, I remember one of his radio shows. He said that, he said that the only way that his mind will be changed is if he goes up in a balloon above, or someone takes him above and he can see what the earth really looks like. Or he heads out to find that big, huge ice wall. And that's really what this is. I'm writing all this down. It's called In Search of the Ice Wall. And how do you find it? Oh, there's a lot of people out there with a lot more money than me. They got $1 million yachts. Oh, you can take the Navy. Why aren't they? I'm leaving right now. The shore. I see all these big, huge Navy ships. They're more equipped to go find what I'm looking for. The truth. But they're not into the truth. Oh, no. They want to stage their little wars all over this beautiful, beautiful earth, so that we can claim that you see, I'm still getting internet contact as someone is calling me on Skype. Maybe they're hearing the broadcast and want to stop me from traveling. But I'm not going to pick it up and answer. You can hear them calling, can't you? I'm going to shut them down, because I'm on my way. Yes, Moose, my little dog here is sleeping. They like the waves. It's a nice calm day, by the way. And I'm dead reckoning this. We're on course. I got a backup GPS in case I lose my way. And I got an autopilot. And at night when I sleep, that'll be on. And that usually takes you a few degrees off, so maybe I'll turn the GPS. And is the GPS correct anyway? I'll match that to dead reckoning and see how close we get. Because I told you a long time ago, GPS is land-based. And there's going to be a time when it's going to go off if I keep going in the direction I think I'm going. Now, if I hit Hawaii or the Sandwich Islands, if I make it, I may not go any farther. Who knows what'll happen there? Maybe I'll lose my guts. Maybe I'll lose my nerve. Maybe I'll just decide to stay there. I'm not telling you. Why should I tell people anything? You know what? If you really come to think of it, this huge journey is a culmination of, yes, free will. Choice. I finally have choice. I can choose to be one of them, to be one of the Vatican-led New World Order and be rich, famous, or I can choose to find the truth out and die a happy man. Oh, I'm happy right now. If the boat sunk 10 miles out, I'd have no regrets. No regrets whatsoever. It's only a question of if and when for all of us anyway, isn't it? But what, one of these days, oh yes, one of these days I'm going to put my head on the pillow, and it's going to be mine. Not some experts, not some religious person telling me every little thing about the Bible. No, it's going to be mine, and I brought a Bible to read. I'll make my own decisions on what it says. Oh, it feels good. The farther I get away from that shore, the better I feel. Even though I'm facing death straight in the face, but don't we do that every day? What, am I going to wait around? Wait around on the land to catch some kind of new cancer that they're giving us? I'm going to wait around till my body can't move anymore? How many young people today come down with all of these illnesses and die? Everybody goes. But man, I've seen so many people die. Untimely deaths. So what am I going to do? Wait around just to die? Listening to all these experts, getting sick and tired of it all? No, I'm going to find out. I told you. And if you go back to my old radio shows, I told you. The only way that someone's going to change my mind on this subject, that the earth is not a sphere, is if I see it for myself. And I don't have the money to go up above. No one's taking me up in Earth's, 150,000 feet, or how far you got to go to see the Earth. I wish that would be the case, because it would be a lot easier. And now I'm losing sight of land. I still can see it, but it's interesting. It looks flat to me. I can see the buildings on the shore, and I must be 10, 15 miles out. It looks pretty flat to me. And that reminds me, I still have internet connection for this hour, so I can do a couple things here. You know what I'm going to do with this show? I can tape it. Oh, it'll be there. Maybe Nicholas over in the station will play it around so people know where I'm at. He usually does that. He's a nice guy. I'll send it to him later, before I leave range. But there's a couple things I can do here. Oh yeah. Why don't I do this? Did you realize we always listen to that JFK, that speech he gave, that secret society speech. But was he killed for spilling the truth about the Earth, that it wasn't a sphere, that the space program was a hoax? Yeah, I think so. And I've saved that because I want to play that. Oh yeah. Let's listen. A friend of mine, well, he's not a friend, but he did an experiment just a while back showing the Earth was flat. And he put this up. Was JFK telling us the Earth is flat? Nice. Oh, it's nice to hear music. I see a few dolphins. Watch this short speech, he says, and note the words I emphasize.
I want to talk about our common responsibilities in the face of a common danger. The events of recent weeks may have helped to illuminate.
Illuminate. That's the first word in this speech. We don't hear this part of it. We always play the other part, the secret society things, but the events of recent weeks may have helped to illuminate that challenge for some. Well, you know what he's talking about. The Illuminations, the Illuminati.
That challenge for some but the dimensions of its threat have loomed large on the horizon.
Dimensions of its threat have loomed large on the horizon for many years. It's a secret. He's telling them he knows. Dimensions, horizon. Why would he use all these words? Because the dimensions and the horizons of theirs have been a fake.
For many years. Whatever our hopes may be for the future, for reducing this threat or living with it, there is no escaping either the gravity.
Oh, no escaping either the gravity. And I'll let him finish that. And he goes on to say, or the totality of its challenge to our survival and to our security. Gravity. Gravity doesn't exist. You know why it doesn't exist? I did 3 simple experiments, and let me go to those before we finish Mr. Kennedy here. And I still got, it's nice and calm on the sea on my way to search for the ice wall. Oh, I'll find it. I'll find it. And then I'll prove to you all what I've been saying for these last years. But I know that there's no gravity. Let me tell you why. There's 3 simple experiments you can do. Jump. And I'm going to show you the Earth's not moving. Just jump up and down right now, wherever you're at. Scientists claim the Earth is spherical and rotating at a speed of 700 to 1,000 miles per hour, depending on what latitude you're at. This is a very high rate of speed. You can disprove this nonsense by simply jumping up as high as you can. Really, it's that simple. What happens when you jump? Okay, I'm jumping up right now. And you come right straight down to where you were. But if the Earth were indeed spinning at such a fast speed, wouldn't you land hundreds of feet away? Think about it. If you were to stand in a flatbed truck going 65 miles an hour and jump straight up, what would happen? You wouldn't fall straight down. You would fall out of the truck. That's because trucks move. The Earth doesn't. The experiment proves the simple one you can do every day. Watch a basketball game. When Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Shaquille O'Neal jump up under the basket, they don't land in the stands. They don't land at the other basket. They land right where they went up, they came down. Now, another way you can do is just blow out of your, just blow. Since the Earth is supposedly a sphere, it naturally comes to assume that what would happen to people below the equator, like in Australia. Since they are underneath the sphere, wouldn't they fall off? Did you ever think about that? But you know what? All of you, just close your eyes. Oh, it's so nice, sir. I got the autopilot on, so don't worry. I'm still going in the same course I want to. And when the stars come out tonight, it'll be easier to dead reckon my way. I've been to Hawaii before on a ship. I've taken one there. I've had people with me. This is going to be a bit different. But you go in this world alone, and you should go out alone. Right? Everything in the middle, most of it's fantasy anyway. But my second test, just blow. Since they are underneath, they should fall off, right? This is where scientists come up with this stupid idea of gravity, centrifugal force, to explain away their theories. Gravity makes no sense. So the scientists want you to think that because the Earth is so much more massive than people or things, that people will naturally stick to the bottom, like a magnet, because of gravity. This can be disproved very simply. You get a balloon and inflate it as big as possible. Blow into it. It will be a spherical shape, right? Now take a piece of paper and try to rip, tear, or cut the tiniest speck of paper possible. This paper represents a human being, much smaller in mass to the balloon, which represents the Earth. Now try and place the small piece of paper to the underside of the balloon. What happens? It falls off. That's right. Even though the balloon is so much bigger in mass, It cannot hold the tiny paper. So if the Earth was a sphere, no one could live below the equator because they'd all fall off. But my friends, gravity is used to their advantage. They have places where there's no gravity, and they have places where there's gravity. Makes no sense. The last little test you can do, and I always got to keep track of time. Pretty soon, after this show, I won't have to. Time won't matter, will it? Just day and night. Same day and night that we've seen all of our lives. Never changes. And if we are spinning so fast, this universe is spinning so fast, how does it never change? Oh, we don't think. We just listen to what the experts say. But I wish I could have gone up instead of going on this big, huge ocean. I brought some diving gear, though. I could drop anchor somewhere. I don't know. There's places. Once I get out into the middle here, that's pretty deep, so you're not going to drop any anchors. And I ain't leaving the boat, so wait till I get to Hawaii to use the diving gear. But okay, this one, you really can't do at home. Last test, but you can do it out in the world. Stand on the ground and look around you. What's the farthest you can see? Maybe it's a building, tree, or mountain. Now find some place very close to it where you can't get a much higher vantage point. This also works if you're on a jet and about to take off. Notice in the higher place you can see much farther. You can see more of the world the higher you get. What I'm trying to tell you is the horizon always comes to your eye level, which means that the higher you go, you should see a curve. You don't see any curves. Oh, when they use those GoPro fisheye lenses, then it looks like it's a curve. But you can take the program out of your GoPro, that fisheye program, and just get a straight lens look. This shows the world is flat, because the higher you go, the easier it is to see over obstacles. At the same time, it shows the world cannot be spherical, because if the world was curved, the far distance would forever remain out of view. Because of the Earth's curvature, it would eternally be over the horizon. These are 3 things you can do. But you know what? Most people won't trust themselves. They won't trust their common sense. That's why I left. Oh, it's so nice. I can't see any land right now. Oh, that looks beautiful. There's a couple fish following the boat. Oh, and there's still a few birds around. I bet you they know the shape of the earth. I'm going to ask them. You know, on some lonely night, always a pelican or a bird hangs around. I'm going to talk with them about it. They've seen a lot more than me. They travel a lot more distances, and they probably know a lot more than we humans do anyway. So maybe we can learn from them. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to talk with the birds that come on my boat. Oh, I can't wait. What a great conversation it's going to be. And maybe I can tape it and then play it for you, because I'm going to lose internet contact here in I've reckoned about an hour and 40 minutes, maybe 2 hours. So this will be my last show for a while. Unless I tape them. Well, I'll tell you a little secret. I've taped about 25 of the 30 shows that I'm going to send, that I've already put in my computer, and I have a friend sending them over. I told one person I'm leaving. So you're going to hear me anyway. But anyway, I'll be long, long gone. But anyway, what time we got here? Oh, time to take a break. Back in 3 minutes.
Hear it first on FirstAmendmentRadio.com and FirstAmendmentRadio.net.
Visit crosstheborder.org, CROSS, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of the book, The Rapture Will Be Canceled. That's crosstheborder.org.
I know you all want answers, and believe me, so do I, and I'll do my best to get them.
Despite Nicolas Cage's promise to do his best to get left behind rapture answers for us, don't hold your breath. Not everyone believes Left Behind is true prophecy. Some may even regard as conspiratorial the mainstream re-release of the Left Behind movie with actor Nicolas Cage portraying the main character as an attempt to further reinforce in the minds of all this perception of false prophecy in order to condition the masses for the play about to begin. If you want true Bible prophecy answers, get the book, The Rapture Will Be Canceled. The author exposes the Latin rapture origin, the 7-year tribulation deception, true Bible revelation of Daniel's 70 weeks, the abomination of desolation, the restrainer, America in the Revelation, the image of the beast and the mark of the beast, and the truth about God's chosen people, and so much more about Bible prophecy. This book will shatter the Left Behind paradigm of future events. Get the book, The Rapture Will Be Canceled. Visit crosstheborder.org, CROSS, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of the book, The Rapture Will Be Canceled. That's crosstheborder.org.
Since the beginning of time, kings have sought it, nations have fought for it. It has been traded, it has been borrowed, it has been purchased, it has been stolen. There's a reason for it. To secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and to our posterity. Invest with the security of gold and silver. Call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188 or visit discountgoldandsilvertrading.net. Listen to Financial Survival with your host Melody Cedarstrom right here on FirstAmendmentRadio.com at 4 p.m. Eastern or 1 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit discountgoldandsilvertrading.net or call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188. Toll free 1-800-375-4188.
Okay, we are back on the Investigative Journal and on geocentricity. I just gave you the name of the ship I'm on. Geocentricity. How many of you even know what that means? And in search of the ice wall. That's where I'm going. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. People have said, I didn't tell anybody. No, I didn't want it. I told them I was going out for just a nice afternoon sail. But you know, how many of you? Before I get, we got to finish what Mr. Kennedy was saying. I brought that along with me. And I got another thing you can listen to, too. Nazis. I was playing it on my show before I left today. Yesterday I played it, I think. Nazis, NASA, and the flat Earth. I like to call it the circle Earth. Sounds a little more appealing, doesn't it? Yeah. Oh, as soon as I didn't see land anymore, I'm smiling, I'm laughing. Oh, this is fun. To get away from it all, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I listened to it all. Both sides of 9/11, both sides of the American problem, both sides of the religious issues all the time. You get even into the Bible and you get so tired of people arguing over what it means and what it says. I don't need to listen to it anymore. And then I figured, I started to figure out, they've even lied to us about the earth we live on. And then I got to listen to all the people complain, are back and forth, but they're just relying on what other people said anyway. And I said, the only way to figure it out is just go look for yourself. That's what I'm doing. In search of the ice wall. Oh, it's going to be a nice trip. And I've got the birds to help me. They've seen it. I'm sure some of them have. And those penguins, I bet you they've seen it too. But Kennedy knew this, and that secret society speech, He said, listen, he's at a point here, you never listen to this part of it. There's no escaping either the gravity, see? You'll never escape the gravity theory. It makes no sense, or the totality of its challenge to our survival and to our security. We're not going to survive with these people in power. It's that simple. And for those of you out there who think, these New Age people thinking that, oh, man will solve his problems and we're going to have 1,000 years of peace. That is not going to happen, because man will never have peace. Let's go back to Mr. Kennedy here.
Or the totality of its challenge to our survival and to our security. A challenge that confronts us in unaccustomed ways in every sphere of human activity.
Every sphere of human activity. He didn't have to say sphere. He's telling these people he knows. In unaccustomed ways in every sphere of human activity. He could have said in every part of human activity. In every aspect of human activity. Oh, and you know what? I'm going to take this microphone with me. I got to walk out on the deck. I don't know if you can hear the waves or anything. It's pretty calm, so you probably can't hear much. But I got to look down there, something banging in the bottom of this boat. I see it now. Oh boy. Little dolphin. All right. You lead the way. Go on. If you go off course, I'll know. So he's leading me now. I've never seen that happen before. Maybe he heard me talking and wants to go see the wall himself. I'm sure, you know what? I've got more interest in this little dolphin than I've had in all the people that were trying to lead me by the nose my whole life into places I didn't want to go. Oh, maybe he'll take me there. But anyway, Kennedy, we got to do this. I only got maybe an hour left. My calculations of the internet, it's ground-based. So that's why it's going to be difficult to get it. There are no satellites up there. But I know there's certain ways, certain time, what we could do. We'll pick up, a lot of times you can pick up things from the Navy ships, where they're bouncing off the GPS systems, and they'll travel through the, I don't know how it works, but it works. So I may be able to pick up internet along the way I didn't think. So maybe I can still broadcast, let you know how I'm doing. But Mr. Kennedy, I brought this with you because, I wanted to let you know. I got so tired of the Kennedy debates, too. Oh, I had people on my show telling me, Kennedy this, Kennedy, who killed him here? We know he was killed by them. The Illuminati and the Vatican killed him just like they killed Lincoln. But we went on and on. Then some people told me Kennedy's still alive, living on some island. And Jackie wanted him dead. I am so tired of it. We know the Vatican did it. And let's get on with getting rid of them. But that's never going to happen because that's not the way it's been ordained. Now, let's go back. He's talking. He says, a challenge that confronts us in unaccustomed ways in every sphere. A sphere. He's telling the they talk in these terms.
This deadly challenge imposes upon our society two requirements of direct concern, both to the press and to the President. Two requirements that may seem almost contradictory in tone, but which must be reconciled and fulfilled if we are to meet this national peril. I refer first to the need for far greater public information, and second, to the need for far greater official secrecy. The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society, and we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts
Concealment of pertinent facts. What are those pertinent facts? Well, I can think of 100. One of them is that the Earth isn't the way they tell us it is. He knew that the space program was a sham, but he had to play along. And I think Kennedy thought he could backstab these people, but he got his in the end, didn't he?
Far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. Even today, there is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions. And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment.
Censorship and concealment. The Antarctic Treaty's concealment. They don't want you to know what your Earth is about even. They want you to put your head on that little pillow thinking the way they do. And he was right. It's exactly what's happening today. And this information he's talking about, most of it on the internet's tainted anyway. You don't know what you're listening to. Most people are working for the man. Let's get back to Mr. Kennedy. Only a few more seconds here.
That I do not intend to permit to the extent that it's in my control.
And it's in his control. That didn't last much longer, did it? NASA and the Freemasons sacrificed Kennedy on 11/22. What does that equal? 33. The man who knew too much. He knew too much. He was killed in Delaney Plaza, named after the Freemason Delaney. We're not 100 years away from the spot is the Masonic Lodge, as is an obelisk in Delaney's name with 13 sections. We don't talk about that, do we? Why do you think I'm out here in this ocean by myself? What about Robert Kennedy? What about Robert? RFK also killed on the 33rd parallel. Let us dedicate ourselves, this is what he said, to what the Greeks wrote so many years ago, to tame the savageness of man and make gentle the life this way it should be. 1776 plus 13 times 13 equals 1945, the year Israel was given statehood. Every U.S. state on the 33rd parallel is a death penalty state. Iraq, Baghdad, and Babylon are on the 33rd parallel. Mount Sinai also on the 33rd parallel. 33. That's the Illuminati number. Roswell, New Mexico is also on the 33rd parallel. Guess what? He said this. The preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed. Kennedy said that before he left. Oh, I'm going to find out this secret. I'm going to find that ice wall. Oh, yeah. And then I'm going to put my head on my pillow, and it's going to be mine, not theirs. And along the way, I got a lot of people and time to think and talk. Talk to the birds, talk to the dolphins. Talk to my dogs who I've been talking to for years. They're probably tired of it, but they enjoy the trip too. They want to see it. They want to know why they were put here. And how are you ever going to know if you don't even know what you're stepping on every day you walk out of your house? That's why I'm out here alone. That's why I'm never coming back, even if I find it. Do you think I'm coming back? Oh, why? They'll kill you. They'll kill me anyway. So I'm content with that, just knowing, finding out. People always wonder, what are we here? We have to know. Oh, it's quiet now. I still have internet, I think. If I just break off, don't worry about it. You know where I'm at. And don't send anybody after me. Don't. Now, remember what he said. The preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Oh, yeah. When you look up in the sky, Our problems are man-made, therefore they may be solved by man. No problem of human destiny is beyond human beings. That's what he said. I don't totally agree with that. But maybe he was trying to wake up people. The problem of our destiny is we don't know what we're here for. We don't even know what earth we stand on. Maybe just by knowing, maybe allowing God to make the changes, we'd be better off. Yeah, maybe we would. And he also said this, and I enjoy, there's a plot, says, in this country to enslave every man, woman, and child. Before I leave this high and noble office, I intend to expose this plot. That was 7 days before he was killed. This is a U.S. president that you people out there revere, many of you revere. There's a plot in this country why would he say that? To enslave every man, woman, and child. Before I leave this high office and noble office, I intend to expose this plot. Why do you think he also said we will not be run by any pope? He didn't even allow Spellman in the White House. That was the most powerful man in the United States. Cardinal Spellman, the pedophile. Why do you think I'm out on this ocean? At least I'm going to find out one thing for myself. Because all tyranny needs to gain a foothold. If for people of good conscience to remain silent. Oh, everybody will remain silent. Yep. I hope he rests in peace. I really do. And to Nassau and the rest of these Masonic clowns,
mercy, we will not.
Yep. That's a pretty good one. Pretty good. Pretty good. Now, you know what? You're always talking about things, time, space. I got 10 minutes here. Is my internet still holding? I got to do a couple things here because I think I'm off course. That dolphin took me. I got to do this, and I don't want to turn on this GPS. And if I go 10, 20 minutes in the wrong direction, I'll be messed up here, and I do not want to do that. So let me put on what I was playing yesterday for you: the Nazis, Nassau, and the Infinite Plane. Isn't it interesting? They call it a planet. If you take away T, it's plane. If you take away E, it's ET, and all their extraterrestrial nonsense. But let me put this on, so I got to get us back on course here.
The answer isn't by force, because if you force your will upon people violently, they will invariably rebel against the oppressor, and their head, or the heads of their descendants, will eventually end up on a pike. The only way you can truly control the entire world is through deception. For the last 100 years, give or take, people have known the Earth to be a globe, and they have known that humans evolved from apes. Without any proof, these two theories in particular have been taught in public schools as absolute fact, sort of like a strong faith in a gospel. During the 1960s, NASA put an end to any debate regarding the shape of our world by traveling to the moon and taking a few pictures of the Earth from 500,000 miles away. Or did they? It has now come to public knowledge that the moon landings were 100% fake. Even the pictures they took of Earth, and I use the term loosely, on that journey were demonstrably false. However, these very same pictures are the only such pictures in circulation. This includes all science textbooks, documentaries, and lectures that show the exact same fake picture over and over and over again. In case people started getting tired of that picture, they changed it up a little bit by flipping the image over 180 degrees. Yep, they just turned it upside down and asserted that it was a totally different picture of the Earth. The image of the world you're viewing is the only real picture of the Earth used in every textbook, every documentary. This image was a hoax perpetrated on the world by the NASA Nazis. The fact is that no astronaut has ever been to the moon, nor has any manned craft been any further than the so-called low Earth orbit, or beneath the Van Allen radiation belts. These are barriers made of toxic radiation that encompasses our planet, which make it impossible for any living being to pass through them without being fried. And none of the fallen angel named missions, Apollo, Mercury, Gemini, all names of fallen angels, were equipped to deal with such levels of radiation. The fact is that NASA wasn't aware of the Van Allen belts when they allegedly went to the moon, so they simply didn't have to prepare for them. There was no lead lining or radiation shielding in the capsule, so the astronauts would have literally been fried like a microwave when they passed through the Van Allen belts on the way to the moon. So how did they get through the Van Allen belts? Well, according to the astronaut themselves, those belts hadn't been discovered yet, so they didn't need to worry about them. So let me say that again. When Bart Sibrel asked the astronaut how they were able to traverse through the Van Allen belts on the way to the moon, he was told by the astronaut that he didn't think they had gone through the Van Allen belts, but if they did go through them, the mission wasn't affected because the said belts hadn't been discovered yet.
Okay, yeah, I got us back on course. That dolphin took me in the wrong direction for a while, but we're back on our way to the first stop, Hawaiian Islands, Sandwich Islands. And I'm listening in the background here to the Nazis of NASA, the Flat Earth, and the Infinite Plane. This gentleman, of course, telling us things we know, that we never went to the moon. He still believes that the Earth is a planet. That's fine. I'm going to prove him wrong. I'm convinced of it. That's why I'm going in search of this huge ice wall. And I'm gonna document it all. My thoughts, the actions of this boat, everything that goes on the way there. And when we get there, what a sight. I've got my cameras, got everything ready to prove it and see it with my own eyes. And then, hopefully, we can get out of there and come around and do a complete circle. That would be a trip, wouldn't it? I don't know. There's got to be places to stop along the way. Maybe a Motel 6 or something. But anyway, I'm calculating here that I've got about 10 minutes of internet left. And then I'm going to lose you. I may pick it up again, but I've taped a lot of shows that'll be played in lieu of me getting back on the air live again from somewhere out on the Pacific Ocean in search of this huge ice wall. So let me get back here. I'm going to play for the last few minutes. I got a couple of little chores to do here on board. So let me get back, play you this video, this discussion. And I've also got it taped, so you may hear it again before you get me live. But back again to Nazis, NASA, and the Infinite Plane.
So by this logic, we should assume that being ignorant of a natural force magically excuses us from experiencing its effects. So with that line of thought, we should assume that gravity didn't affect anyone prior to Isaac Newton. So anyone prior to that Apple incident just floated away into the abyss of space. The reason our space program has never returned to the moon is because they never went to the moon to begin with. They could not continue faking trips to the moon, and there wasn't any further motivation to do so. Their mission had already been accomplished. In fact, the sole purpose of the Apollo missions was to produce proof that the Earth was a globe and end all the debate once and for all. Once this was accomplished, there wasn't any further reason to trick people into believing they're able to visit the moon, other than the fact that they did make trillions of dollars from the U.S. taxpayers. But again, their mission wasn't about money. It was about world domination. If you want any more information on the moon landing hoax, check out A Strange Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon, Astronauts Gone Wild, and just take a look at the International Space Station hairspray hoax. And
okay, I've got done what I had to do, and I've got 2 minutes left for this show, and I still got internet out here, no land in sight. Now the gentleman I'm playing, I like doing this. He still believes in gravity and all those things, and I'm going to prove him wrong. I'm convinced of it. And the farther I get away from land, the stronger I feel about those things. I'm not influenced out here by anybody. Any thoughts? Anybody's expert opinions? I'm going to prove it with my own eyes. And that'd be good enough. Even if I can't tell anybody else, who cares? Nobody will believe you anyway. And then they'll spread rumors that it was false, and they'll say it was all Photoshop. So what's the sense of it all? What's the sense of this whole life anyway? It's to prove it to yourself. And forget about everybody else. You go into this world alone, you come in alone, and you're going to go out alone. I'm talking about with people. There's nobody going out with you. And you came in by yourself. So in the middle of it all, and all this time, what are we here for? That's why I'm out here now, proving it. Proving why we're here. At least I'm going to leave knowing what I stepped on for all these years. What my feet touched in the sand. Where I lived. And that'd be good enough for me. And so let me say, I'm losing, I got about another 4 minutes here, but we only got a minute on the show, so you guys take care. I hope you find what you're looking for, because I sure will. I'm going to find what I'm looking for. Hope things go well. I'll get back to you as soon as we get internet connections out on this beautiful Pacific Ocean. Goodbye for a while, and good night.
Gold and silver is tremendously undervalued. Global demand vastly exceeds mine supply by more than 60% annually. There is little in the financial world more certain than a coming explosion in the prices of gold and silver. The U.S. dollar continues to lose value and respect as the world's reserve currency. Our nation faces challenges on many fronts, and a day doesn't pass without another economist bringing forth warnings of impending economic calamity. There has never been a better time than right now to acquire physical gold and silver. Discount Gold and Silver Trading was founded on the principles of truth and honesty. We believe in providing a quality product, quality service, and most importantly, competitive pricing. We provide all forms of precious metals, including American gold, silver, platinum, and rare investment and circulated coins. Silver bars, rounds, and 90% silver bags are on hand for the silver investor. Gold self-directed IRAs are available. Call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188. Toll free, that's 1-800-375-4188.